Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the fundamentals of graphic design, focusing on principles, tools, and creative techniques. This is the first slide of our journey, and I'm excited to guide you through this fascinating topic. We'll explore the core concepts that form the foundation of effective design, along with the essential tools and innovative techniques that can elevate your work. So, let's get started and unlock the secrets behind great graphic design. Welcome to our agenda for today. We'll start with Module 1, which is an introduction to graphic design. Here, we'll explore what graphic design really entails and why it matters in visual communication. Then, in Module 2, we'll dive into the core principles of design, such as balance, contrast, and hierarchy, which serve as the foundation for creating effective visuals. Moving on to Module 3, we'll look at color theory and how it influences perception and emotion, along with some insights into visual psychology. In Module 4, we'll focus on typography and text design, emphasizing how font choices and text layout impact readability and message clarity. Next, in Module 5, we'll cover layout, composition, and grids, key tools for organizing visual content cohesively. Module 6 introduces graphic design tools and software, giving you an overview of essential digital resources. Then, in Module 7, we'll explore creative techniques and how to tell compelling stories through visuals. Finally, in Module 8, we'll look at practical applications, including how to build a strong portfolio that showcases your skills. This structure is designed to give you a comprehensive understanding of graphic design, connecting each module to build your overall expertise. Today, we're diving into Module 1, Graphic Design, scheduled for April 7th, 2026. This module is fundamental because it sets the foundation for understanding how visuals communicate messages effectively. We'll explore the core principles behind creating compelling designs that capture attention and convey ideas clearly. As we progress, you'll see how these concepts tie into the bigger picture of effective communication and visual storytelling. The goal here is to build a strong understanding of the key elements that make graphic design impactful and to prepare you to apply these skills in real-world projects. So, let's get started and see how mastering these basics can elevate your design work. As we look at this slide, it's clear that global demand for graphic design continues to grow. Organizations across various industries are investing more in digital content and establishing consistent brand systems. This trend highlights how essential visual identity has become in today's marketplace. The market outlook shows that graphic design isn't just about aesthetics. It's fundamental to marketing, branding, and user experience. It shapes how people perceive a brand, influences their behavior, and ultimately drives engagement. So why does this matter? Well, graphic design is a creative process that blends art and technology. It's about communicating ideas visually, using typography, imagery, color, and layout. All these elements work together to tell a story or convey a message effectively. In essence, graphic design is a powerful tool that helps brands connect with their audiences in meaningful ways, making it a critical component of any successful marketing strategy. Let's take a look at the most recent phase in the evolution of graphic design, from 1995 to 2020, which we call the digital era. During this period, the rise of the web, mobile devices, and immersive technologies really transformed how we create and experience design. The challenge became making designs that are not only visually appealing, but also highly interactive and responsive across different platforms and devices. This shift pushed us to develop new skills and tools to meet these ever-changing digital demands. It's a fascinating time where technology continuously shapes the way we communicate visually, emphasizing the importance of adaptability and innovation in our field. Let's take a closer look at some of the key careers in graphic design. First up, we have the motion graphics artist. This role involves creating animated visuals that bring videos, websites, and multimedia projects to life. It's all about using animation techniques to communicate ideas in a dynamic and engaging way. Next, there's the UX/UI designer. Their focus is on designing user experiences and interfaces for websites and apps. The goal here is to make digital interactions as intuitive and visually appealing as possible, ensuring that users can navigate easily and enjoy their experience. Finally, we have the graphic designer. This role covers a broad range of visual concepts for both print and digital media, including logos, layouts, and marketing materials. Graphic designers are essential in establishing brand identity and making content visually compelling. All of these careers highlight how versatile and creative the field of graphic design is. They each play a vital role in shaping how we communicate visually across different platforms. Today is April 7th, 2026, and we're diving into Module 2, which focuses on the core principles of design. In this part of the presentation, I want to emphasize the fundamental ideas that underpin effective design. These principles are essential because they guide us in creating solutions that are not only functional but also engaging and user-friendly. We'll explore concepts like balance, contrast, emphasis, and harmony, key elements that influence how a design feels and functions. Understanding these core principles helps us make intentional choices that improve the overall user experience. Remember, good design isn't just about aesthetics. It's about communicating ideas clearly and efficiently. These principles connect directly to our broader goal of creating impactful, meaningful designs that resonate with users. So, as we go through this module, keep in mind how these core ideas serve as the foundation for everything we'll build later on. Let's talk about how balanced designs can really enhance user experience. When we organize content with balance, it not only makes it easier to remember, but also increases satisfaction. A well-balanced layout helps users feel comfortable and confident as they navigate. Now, why does this matter? Symmetry, for example, often feels calm and orderly. It's predictable and soothing. On the other hand, asymmetrical balance can inject energy into a design, creating a more dynamic and engaging feel, but still maintaining a sense of intentionality. So, what's the core idea here? Balance is all about distributing visual weight evenly across your layout. When done correctly, it makes your design feel stable and makes content easier to scan. Whether you're leaning towards symmetry or asymmetry, understanding how to achieve that balance is key. In summary, balance and symmetry are fundamental principles that help us craft designs that are both appealing and functional, supporting the overall goal of creating intuitive, satisfying user experiences. Let's talk about how high contrast can really boost understanding in visual communication. When we use contrast effectively, it makes the key information stand out more clearly. This can be achieved through contrasting colors, sizes, or shapes, all of which help guide the viewer's eye to what's most important. Emphasizing certain elements ensures that the message isn't lost, and that viewers focus on the main points we want to highlight. In essence, contrast and emphasis work together to make our messaging more impactful and easier to grasp. Remember, about 40% of effective communication comes from how well we use visual contrast to direct attention. So, leveraging contrast wisely is a powerful tool to elevate our overall messaging. Now, let's talk about user engagement. Seamless experiences are key here, because when a user finds an interface easy and smooth to navigate, they tend to stay engaged longer. This is supported by numerous user interface studies, which show that reducing friction leads to higher engagement levels. Moving on to the concept of proportion, this relates to the size relationship between different elements on a screen. When we get this right, it creates a sense of balance and harmony. Often, designers refer to the golden ratio, which is considered an optimal proportion for achieving visual appeal and balance. That brings us to harmony. Harmony in design focuses on creating aesthetically pleasing arrangements. This involves balancing colors, shapes, and spacing so that everything feels comfortable and visually appealing. When elements are well harmonized, users experience less visual stress and find the interface more inviting. Finally, let's look at unity. Unity is about making sure all design elements feel connected and cohesive. When everything works together seamlessly, it creates a sense of completeness. making the user feel like they're interacting with a well-thought-out, unified experience. Putting it all together, unity, harmony, and proportion are essential principles that, when combined, produce interfaces that are not only beautiful but also highly functional and engaging. These principles support our overall goal of creating user experiences that are both visually appealing and intuitively easy to use. Today, we're diving into Module 3, which focuses on color theory and visual psychology. This part is really crucial because understanding how colors influence perception helps us create more effective and engaging designs. We'll explore how colors can evoke emotions, influence behavior, and even shape brand identity. We'll look at the fundamentals of color theory, like the color wheel, primary, secondary, and tertiary colors, and how these form the basis for choosing color schemes. Then we'll discuss the psychology behind colors, why blue can evoke trust, why red grabs attention, and how green often communicates growth or health. Recognizing these associations allows us to craft visuals that resonate on a subconscious level. Connecting this to the overall theme, mastering color psychology empowers us to communicate more effectively, whether in marketing, branding, or user interface design. It's about using colors intentionally to guide perceptions and evoke the desired responses. Research shows that color choices are closely linked to mood and readability, which are both crucial factors in making effective design decisions. When selecting colors, it's important to consider how they will influence the viewer's feelings and how easily they can read the content. Why does this matter? Well, using complementary, analogous, and triadic color schemes helps us balance contrast, create visual cohesion, and improve usability. These schemes guide us in choosing colors that work well together and support the overall message or purpose of the design. Now, let's talk about common schemes. Colors are typically organized into primary, secondary, and tertiary groups. This organization reveals the relationships between colors and helps designers understand how different hues interact with each other in a composition. And what does the color wheel show us? It's a visual tool that displays these relationships clearly. By understanding the color wheel and the schemes it presents, we can craft designs that are both visually appealing and effective in communicating our message. Let's talk about the significance of color in branding and marketing. Green, for example, signals growth and health. You'll often see it used in wellness, sustainability, and finance sectors. When a brand consistently uses green, it helps build a deeper emotional connection with consumers, making the brand feel trustworthy and aligned with those values. Now, moving on to red. Red evokes excitement and urgency, which is why it's frequently used in sales and clearance events. It grabs your attention quickly and can influence up to 85% of purchase decisions. That's a powerful tool to create a sense of immediacy and motivate action. And then there's blue. Blue induces trust and calmness, which is why banks and tech companies often choose it. It signals reliability and security, making consumers feel confident in their choices. A strong use of blue can actually boost brand recognition by up to 80%, which is pretty remarkable. So, in summary, understanding the emotional impact of these colors helps us craft branding strategies that resonate deeply with audiences and influence their behaviors. It's a key part of how we communicate brand values visually. Brands that leverage distinct color palettes can achieve up to 80% more brand recognition. That's a huge difference, and it really shows how powerful color can be in establishing your brand identity. When you use consistent colors, you're not just making your visuals more recognizable, you're also communicating non-verbally across different cultures. This consistency helps build trust and familiarity with your audience, no matter where they're from. So, as we've seen throughout this presentation, color isn't just about aesthetics. It's a strategic tool that can significantly impact how your brand is perceived and remembered. Today, we're diving into Module 4, Typography and Text Design, which is scheduled for April 7th, 2026. As we move through this module, I want to emphasize how crucial typography is in shaping visual communication. It's not just about choosing pretty fonts, it's about how text works to guide the viewer's understanding and engagement. We'll explore key concepts like font selection, hierarchy, and readability, all of which connect deeply to our overall goal of creating effective and compelling designs. Remember, good typography enhances your message and makes your content much more accessible. So let's keep these ideas in mind as we advance through this module and apply them to our projects. Knowing the anatomy of type is really fundamental to choosing the right fonts for your project. When you understand how different parts of a letter form work, you can pick fonts that enhance clarity, improve accessibility, and foster stronger engagement with your audience. Why does this matter? Well, different styles like serif, sans serif, and script actually communicate tone. For example, serif fonts often feel more formal or editorial, while sans serif fonts tend to be more modern and clean. Script fonts can be expressive and elegant, so understanding these styles helps you match the font to the message you want to convey. Now let's talk about font categories, and this is where the anatomy really comes into play. Key features like baseline, X-height, ascenders and descenders, serifs, counters, and terminals define how letter forms sit on the line, breathe within their space, and stay legible. For instance, the baseline is where most letters sit, and the X-height influences how tall lowercase letters appear. Ascenders and descenders extend above or below the main body of the letter, affecting readability and style. Serifs are those small strokes at the ends of characters, giving a different feel compared to sans serif fonts. Counters are the enclosed areas within letters like O or P, and terminals are the finishing strokes of letters. By understanding these key anatomy terms, you can better analyze and choose typefaces that fit your design goals, making your content clearer and more engaging for your audience. When it comes to readability focus, my main goal is to ensure that all your text is easy to read. That means avoiding overly decorative fonts, especially for long passages, because they can be hard on the eyes. I also recommend keeping line spacing comfortable, so the text doesn't feel cramped or too spread out. Now, style consistency is key to creating a professional look. I suggest choosing typefaces with compatible moods or proportions so that all your text elements feel harmonious and unified across your presentation. Contrast in weight is another important aspect. Using bold for headings helps them stand out, while keeping body text in regular or light weights creates a visual balance. This contrast naturally guides your audience's attention to the most important information. Pairing serif and sans serif fonts is a classic technique that adds contrast and helps establish a clear hierarchy. It makes headings distinct from body text, improving overall readability. Finally, when choosing and pairing typefaces, I recommend selecting complementary fonts. This not only strengthens the hierarchy, but also makes your content easier to read and reduces visual strain. All of these considerations work together to support your message and keep your audience engaged. Let's start by talking about legibility, which is all about how easily individual characters can be recognized. The key here is clarity, using clear letter shapes, strong contrast, and enough size, especially for small text. For example, avoid ultralight weights at 12 to 14 pixels. Instead, opt for a regular weight with comfortable spacing to ensure the text is easy to read. Moving on to readability, this relates to how well we can understand the text across sentences and paragraphs. It depends on factors like line length, line height, paragraph spacing, and consistent alignment. A good rule of thumb is to aim for about 45 to 75 characters per line, and a line height of around 1.4 to 1.6 times the font size for body text. These elements help the reader follow along smoothly. Finally, let's discuss hierarchy. This is how we guide the viewer's attention through the content. We do this by varying size, weight, spacing, and placement to signal what to read first, second, and last. When the hierarchy is clear, scanning the content becomes faster, and making decisions about what to focus on feels much easier. Research even shows that a well-defined hierarchy can boost information retention by up to 50%. Together, these three aspects, Legibility, readability, and hierarchy are essential tools that help us improve understanding and retention in our presentations. Today, we're diving into Module 5, which focuses on layout, composition, and grids. These are fundamental elements that help us create visually appealing and effective designs. When we talk about layout, we're really looking at how different elements are arranged on a page or screen to guide the viewer's eye and communicate our message clearly. Composition is about the overall balance and harmony of those elements, making sure everything works together cohesively. Grids, on the other hand, are the underlying structure that helps us organize content consistently and predictably across a project. They're like a skeleton that keeps everything aligned and orderly. Understanding how to effectively use these tools is key, because they directly influence how our audience perceives and interacts with our work. They support our overall goal of creating designs that are not only beautiful, but also functional and easy to understand. So, mastering layout, composition, and grids is about building a solid foundation for all our design projects. Now, let's talk about how effective hierarchy can really boost both task speed and user satisfaction on digital platforms. When we design with hierarchy in mind, we help users find what they need more quickly and make their overall experience more enjoyable. One of the key ways to establish hierarchy is by using size, color contrast, and placement. These elements help us emphasize what truly matters. For example, larger or more vibrant elements naturally draw attention first, guiding users seamlessly through the content. Hierarchy also sets priorities. By organizing elements thoughtfully, we direct attention to the most important information first, reducing confusion and cognitive load. This makes the interface feel more intuitive and less overwhelming. And then there's layout, which creates a natural flow. A well-structured layout guides users smoothly from one element to the next, helping them accomplish their goals efficiently. All of these principles, using size, contrast, placement, and thoughtful layout, come together to create a visual hierarchy that not only looks good, but also enhances usability and user satisfaction. Let's talk about workflow integration first. Grids really help facilitate collaboration between designers and developers by providing a common framework. This makes it easier to create responsive designs that adapt to different screens, and it also streamlines prototyping, saving time and reducing errors. Moving on to the types of grid systems, we have several options like column grids, modular grids, and hierarchical grids. Each of these serves different design purposes. For example, column grids are great for layouts with multiple columns, while modular grids help organize complex content, and hierarchical grids are useful for more freeform, content-driven designs. However, there are challenges to consider. Rigid grids can sometimes limit creativity because they impose strict structure, which might feel restrictive. They also require careful planning upfront to ensure everything aligns properly. Plus, customizing these grids for unique or unconventional layouts can get complicated, so designers need to balance structure with flexibility. Now, on the benefit side, using grid systems really enhances consistency across your designs. They help with alignment, making your visuals look clean and professional. Scalability is another big plus. It's easier to adapt your designs across different platforms and screen sizes. And overall, grid systems make maintenance and updates much simpler, ensuring your design stays cohesive as it evolves. So, in the context of modular design, grids are foundational. They bring order and clarity, helping us build flexible, scalable, and visually appealing interfaces. Let's talk about how related items belong together. Cognitive research shows that grouping related elements actually boosts our focus and helps us understand information more easily. When items are close to each other, our brains naturally see them as a unit, which makes the message clearer. Proximity is a key principle here because it groups meaning. When related information is kept close, it reduces confusion and helps viewers make connections quickly. Next, consistent edges and grids play a big role in making layouts easier to scan and more trustworthy. When elements align neatly, It creates a sense of order that guides the eye smoothly across the design. This consistency helps people feel more confident in reading and interpreting the content. Alignment, in general, creates a sense of order and cohesion. It ensures that everything appears intentional and organized, which makes the overall design more professional and easier to navigate. Now let's talk about white space, sometimes called negative space. Adequate white space around elements separates them, giving each item room to breathe. This not only makes the layout look cleaner, but also improves readability because it prevents the design from feeling cluttered. Finally, spacing isn't just about making things look good. It actually reduces visual clutter. Proper spacing, along with good alignment and proximity, helps focus attention and makes the content much more approachable. So, in summary, spacing, alignment, and proximity work together to create clear, effective layouts that enhance understanding and trust. They're essential tools for guiding viewers through your message smoothly and confidently. Today, we're diving into Module 6, which focuses on graphic design tools and software. This is a key part of understanding how to bring your creative ideas to life visually. We'll explore some of the most popular and powerful tools that designers use every day. These tools help streamline the design process, improve precision, and enhance overall quality. Whether you're working on logos, layouts, or digital art, the right software can make a huge difference. Remember, mastering these tools is essential for turning your concepts into professional-looking designs. Throughout this module, we'll see how these tools connect to the broader theme of effective visual communication and creative expression. Let's take a look at some of the industry-standard software that shapes creative workflows today. First up, Figma. It's a cloud-based tool that enables seamless collaboration for UX and UI prototyping, making it easier for teams to work together in real time. Then there's Sketch, which is especially valued for its fast and straightforward workflows on Mac, perfect for designers who want efficiency. Industry reports consistently show that mastering these tools can significantly boost your employment prospects, emphasizing their importance in today's job market. Moving on, Adobe offers a suite of essential tools. Adobe InDesign is the go-to for publishing and layout design, especially for magazines, brochures, and print media. It's all about creating visually appealing, professional layouts. Adobe Illustrator, on the other hand, is a powerhouse for vector graphics, ideal for logo design, illustrations, and any artwork that needs to be scalable without losing quality. And then there's Adobe Photoshop. It's the industry leader for raster graphics and photo editing, making it indispensable for digital artists, photographers, and anyone working with images. When you combine all these tools, you get a comprehensive toolkit that covers virtually every aspect of digital and print design, reinforcing their status as industry standards. When choosing tools and formats for your project, it's important to consider the final output. For screens, print, or large-scale signage, each requires different preparation to look their best. Now let's talk about the two main types of graphics, vector and raster. Vectors are built from shapes and curves, which means they stay crisp at any size. This makes them perfect for logos, icons, and text because they always look sharp, no matter how big or small. On the other hand, raster graphics are made up of pixels. They work well for photos and images with rich textures. But be careful. When you enlarge raster images, their quality can drop, leading to blurriness or pixelation. Understanding these differences is crucial for selecting the right graphics for your project, ensuring your visuals are clear and professional whether online or in print. Let's talk about the basic workflow and file formats. First, an efficient workflow is essential because it helps us streamline our tasks, which in turn boosts our turnaround time and improves the overall quality of our projects. When everything flows smoothly, we can focus more on creativity and less on technical hiccups. Next, we have file formats like JPEG, PNG, SVG, and PDF. Each of these serves a specific purpose, whether for print or digital use. Choosing the right format ensures that our designs look professional and meet the requirements of the final medium. Moving on to exporting, this step is all about preparing our files for delivery. Selecting the appropriate format at this stage is crucial because it affects how easily our clients or printers can use our work without issues. Then there's revision. This is where feedback comes into play. Adjustments based on feedback help us refine our designs, making sure everything is aligned with the project's goals before finalizing. Finally, the design phase involves creating visual assets, layouts, and mock-ups with our design tools. This is where our ideas come to life in a visual form, setting the foundation for the entire project. All these steps are interconnected, and when managed properly, they create a smooth, efficient workflow that consistently delivers high-quality results. Today, we're focusing on Module 7, which is all about creative techniques and visual storytelling. As we explore this module, you'll see how important it is to craft compelling stories through visuals and innovative methods. We'll delve into various creative techniques that can elevate your storytelling, making it more engaging and memorable. Remember, the key is to connect your visuals to your overall message, ensuring your audience stays captivated and understands your story. This module ties into our broader goal of mastering effective communication through visual means. So, let's get started and unlock the power of creative storytelling. Let's dive into some key techniques for generating ideas and concepts. First up, mind mapping. This is a fantastic way to visually organize your thoughts, map out ideas, and see the relationships between different concepts. It really helps in uncovering connections that might not be immediately obvious. Next, transforming those ideas into actionable concepts is crucial. It's about turning promising concepts into practical design solutions that are ready to build. Think of it as taking ideas from the abstract to the concrete. Then we have mood boards. These are curated collections of visuals, images, colors, materials that set the tone for your project and guide the overall direction. They help communicate the mood and style you're aiming for. The iterative process is also vital. Innovation isn't a one-and-done deal. It involves evolving your ideas through cycles of feedback, testing, and refinement, constantly improving along the way. Brainstorming is another powerful tool. Whether solo or in a group, it's about generating a large volume of ideas quickly, prioritizing free thinking and quantity before refining. Finally, incorporating diverse inputs is essential. Bringing in different perspectives, research, and references can spark new directions and prevent your ideas from becoming too narrow or insular. All these techniques work together to create a dynamic, flexible approach to generating ideas and concepts that are innovative and well-rounded. Let's talk about how story-led brand visuals consistently outperform purely informational design when it comes to engagement metrics. What this means is that when brands craft visuals that tell a story, they tend to capture and hold people's attention much more effectively. We see this backed up by various case studies, which provide concrete evidence of this trend in action. Now, a key reason behind this is that strong narrative cues, like a clear beginning, middle, and end, help boost message retention. People remember stories better than just facts or figures alone. Plus, these narratives foster a sense of empathy, which in turn strengthens brand affinity. When viewers connect emotionally with a story, they feel more attached to the brand. This emotional engagement is really crucial. By carefully using sequence, packing, and symbolism, we can guide attention across different frames and create deeper meaning. It's about using these storytelling mechanics to make our visuals not just eye-catching, but also meaningful and memorable. In essence, visual storytelling strategies are powerful tools in our branding toolkit. They help us craft experiences that are not only visually appealing, but also emotionally compelling, leading to better engagement and stronger connections with our audiences. Let's talk about how custom visuals can really enhance your presentation. When visuals are tailored to specific themes, they create a more cohesive and engaging experience for your audience. Research consistently shows that using multimodal design, combining images, icons, and illustrations, significantly boosts comprehension and makes your content more appealing. Now, why is that? Well, imagery and icons have a powerful way of simplifying complex messages. Instead of long explanations, a well-chosen visual can convey ideas quickly and clearly. They also add personality to your presentation, making it more memorable. Plus, visuals help reinforce your brand identity, creating a consistent look and feel that audiences can associate with your message. In essence, imagery, icons, and illustrations don't just decorate your slides. They serve as tools to communicate more effectively. They make your content more accessible, engaging, and aligned with your overall message. So, investing in the right visuals can really elevate your presentation and help your audience understand and remember your key points better. Today, we're diving into Module 8, Practical Applications, scheduled for April 7th, 2026. In this part of the presentation, I want to emphasize how these concepts are not just theoretical, they have real-world relevance. We'll explore key points that demonstrate how the ideas we've discussed can be applied practically across various scenarios. It's important to see the connection between theory and practice, as this is what truly drives impactful results. By understanding these applications, you'll be better equipped to implement strategies effectively and align them with the broader themes we've covered so far. Remember, the goal is to make these concepts actionable and relevant to your work or projects. Let's talk about strategy adaptations. Successful cross-media projects hinge on using assets that are adaptable and layouts that are flexible. This approach helps us maintain consistency and ensures our message is effective whether it's in print or digital formats. Now, of course, there are challenges. Print requires us to pay close attention to color calibration and layout because we're dealing with physical reproduction, which can be a bit more tricky. Digital, on the other hand, demands responsive layouts that work seamlessly across various devices and platforms, and accessibility becomes a key factor here. When we focus on digital design, we need to consider screen resolution, use RGB color mode for vibrant visuals, and incorporate interactive elements that engage users. Think about designing for computers, tablets, and smartphones. Each device has its own specifications. For print design, the focus shifts. High resolution is crucial, and we work in CMYK color mode to ensure color accuracy in physical prints. Precise dimensions are also essential because the design will be on tangible materials like paper or packaging. Ultimately, designing for print versus digital involves different priorities and technical considerations. Understanding these differences helps us create more effective, versatile designs that serve our overall communication goals. Now, let's talk about the final stages of our project workflow and how we communicate with clients. When we reach the delivery phase, it's crucial to finalize everything, hand off the assets, and confirm that the client is satisfied with the work. This ensures that all expectations are met and that the project concludes smoothly. Before that, we rely on structured feedback through regular check-ins. These sessions help us catch any issues early, reducing the risk of overruns and keeping the project on track. During the drafting process, we produce multiple iterations and validate our progress quickly. This allows us to refine ideas efficiently and ensure we're aligned with the client's vision at every step. Gathering insights and understanding constraints early on, what we call research, helps inform our direction and set realistic goals. And finally, the briefing stage is where we align on goals, scope, success criteria, and timelines. This foundational step sets the tone for the entire project, making sure everyone is on the same page from the start. All these phases are interconnected, forming a smooth workflow that facilitates clear communication and successful project outcomes. A strong portfolio really demonstrates a variety of skills, real projects, and a clear design process. It's not just about showing what you made, but also about illustrating how you think and how you work with others. Including case studies that tell the story from problem to solution is crucial. These narratives help others understand your decision-making, the constraints you faced, how you iterated, and what the final outcomes were. This kind of storytelling adds credibility and makes your work more compelling. Remember, how you present your portfolio matters a lot when it comes to hearing decisions, especially in digital formats. An online portfolio with intuitive navigation allows reviewers to quickly find your key work and understand your strengths. Overall, the goal is to create a presentation that clearly communicates your skills, your projects, and your process in a way that resonates with your audience and highlights your value as a designer. All right, as we reach the final slide, I want to emphasize how all these elements come together to prepare you for a successful career in graphic design. You're now equipped not just with the skills to build compelling portfolios, but also with the confidence to pursue design roles, maintaining a consistent and high-quality craft. Remember, skills and creativity go hand in hand. Practical tools allow you to execute ideas effectively, while creative exploration helps you communicate visually across various formats and media. It's this balance that makes your work stand out. Color, typography, and layout are essential building blocks. When you understand color theory, choose the right typefaces, and craft thoughtful compositions, your designs become clearer and more impactful. These elements work together seamlessly in your process to elevate your messaging. Finally, you've built a solid foundation in core design principles. This fluency enables you to craft visual messages that are intentional and clear, guiding viewers' attention exactly where you want it. So, in conclusion, mastering graphic design is about blending these skills, creative insights, and fundamental principles. It's about developing your voice and confidence to create work that truly communicates and resonates. Thank you for being part of this journey. I can't wait to see what you all accomplish next.